What's up? There we go. Got some bad connections. Alright, so you know what I was thinking, right? I'm over here driving and whatnot. Just had a nice steak and whatnot. And next thing you know, I was like, you know what? I'm looking at, this is some film talk, by the way. So I'm thinking, the way I do my movies, the way I like to direct a film, even like to write a script, I didn't realize, but I realize it now, and I think it's pretty good. You know, the whole concept of the beginning, middle, and end, right? So you get the beginning, middle, and end. But then I look at the movies that I really admire, the movies that keep it going, that keep it moving. And those that keep it moving, there's something they all have in common. And it just dawned on me that, I don't know if they know they're doing it, but I'm going to take that concept myself because I thought about it. Was that, you know, that beginning, middle, and end should be within each partition. Meaning that your beginning, right? The beginning of the movie should have a beginning, middle, and end of that beginning. Middle of the movie should have a beginning and middle and end of that. And then at the end should have a beginning and middle of that. Because when you think of it, you do, right? The beginning has a beginning, something happens, and then it kind of fades off, and then you have your middle, and the middle starts this process, right? Well, that process in the beginning of that middle is actually the beginning of the middle, right? So then you have an arc within that segment. Go up, down, or maybe up, and it raises up, but then you have the conclusion, and you have to begin the conclusion, right? You have to begin that, so that's the beginning of the conclusion. And then you get to the point where in the middle of the conclusion, there's something going on. That going on is keeping everybody in suspense. You want to see how it's going to end and everything else. And then when it happens, it has an end to that. So it'd be the end of the movie, but all in all, each segment has a beginning, a middle, and an end. So taking that concept and everything you do, I believe that you will have a very exciting film. A film that feels like it keeps moving. It doesn't stop. It keeps the interest on and on and on. You know, and I'm not one for rules. I'm not in the whole thing of like everything has to have a beginning, middle, and end, so you can switch it up. I said it once before. One movie that's really started to kind of mess around that whole kind of blocking of how a movie's done was Return of the Jedi. To me, was one of the first ones. You know, remember, Return of the Jedi started with the beginning, and then you had a middle, not even the middle really, just started with the end, and the end went on for like, you know, an hour and 15 minutes. You know, it was a big conclusion, and I think that's great. I think that everybody, no matter what you do, you always go out there and try to find or do something new. You know, you may have rules when you filmmake, or even when you write, or whatever art that you're doing. There's these rules. There's these foundations that everyone's familiar with, and a lot of times, you know, sometimes, not a lot of times, but sometimes, you know, they make a lot of sense, and it will work. It will work for everybody. You know, very few will work for everyone. You know, there's a foundation. But a lot of times that foundation came from somebody with a really good idea that said, you know what, that's a really good idea. We should make that the foundation, because then anyone behind them, it'll make it easier for them to kind of grow, knowing that they can start at this point. But I said it once before, why don't you start that point? Why don't you go out there and just do your art, work on what you want to work on, and then you twist it the way you want to twist it. Because like any art, there are going to be people who don't like it and do. And you're always going to get a crowd of people somewhere that's going to like what you want. So it really doesn't matter more than what you do. It's just making sure you're doing exactly what you want, you know, with the resources that you have. But yeah, anyway, so, you know, normally I don't drive and talk. I mean, I drive and talk all the time with my wife and, you know, friends and all that stuff, but actually not online. But it was just something that, you know, it just came to me, and I'm like, you know what? I want to share the world. I want to see what you guys say about that. You know, filmmakers, producers, directors. When you make a film, you know, you have your regular foundation like everything else, and you worry about that concept. But you know what? It's a freedom. Let's do what we want to do. Only thing we care about is making it good. However we're going to make it good. If we worried about saying, hey, did we check all the boxes? You know, you start making a really boring movie. Now, you actors out there who work in the theater actors, is the same, right? There's a saying that other theater actors who turned into movie actors, but I heard a few times from theater actors, and even not even theater actors too. I mean, other performers. But I always hear it from theater actors where they said if they go out and perform a night and they feel that they did perfect, or the lines came out right, or the reflections were right on, spot on, you hit your mark every time, and man, you was on beat every moment of that play. They always say you must have the most boring performance ever because there's no edge. There was nothing there that kind of want you to do better at that very second or at that very moment. And you hear that a lot. And that is why when you do anything, art, of course art, film, or whatever you like, whatever you do, you just want to do your best to always kind of keep just stay a little uncomfortable, you know? Don't be too complacent, chilling, and then say, okay, I got this. You don't. I mean, I don't ever do. I'm always like on the edge, no matter what I do, because that's going to help you not only be a better artist for what you're doing, but always keep you aware of your surroundings and what needs to be done and how you can grow, knowing there's no end to growth. Growth is infinite. If we were able to live 200 to 300 years, we'll still be growing. Be 5,000 years. If we were freaking vampires, living for like 5,000, 6,000 years, we're still growing. We're still learning. The world always changes. So that's why you always want to kind of keep yourself on edge. Don't get comfortable, and do the best you can. But like I said, just to kind of rewind to what I was saying in the beginning of this random going on now. But the whole concept of a beginning, middle, and end of a story, I think could be the same concept you can take for each of those sectors, each quadrant. The beginning should have a beginning, middle, and end. The middle should have a beginning, middle, end, and the end should have a beginning, and middle, and end. Something I thought, So anyway, so I'm here driving. Now it's starting to rain, and you can probably hear it. And here we are. I'm in Florida, as you all know, and the rain just drops down, for no reason. It just falls. I mean, you look at the sky, there's no clouds, but it's coming from somewhere. But that's Florida for you. Anyway, I'll be on later tonight. Talk some more stuff. You guys have any ideas you want to talk about? Anything, any concept? Even what do you think about my concept? What do you say? What do you think? Do you think it'll work for you? Do you think you can actually see that? Yes or no? Why not? Let's have a conversation. But all right, everyone out there, at that time that everyone's coming home, getting yourself together, probably keep picking up the kids or what have you. Be careful out there driving. I'm trying to do the same thing while I am driving, looking at all this rain now, and do this. So anyway, all right guys, I'll see you later, and peace.